It began with a rumor, whispers carried by merchants who traveled dusty roads and storm-tossed seas. They spoke of a kingdom so wealthy that gold was traded like grain, and a ruler whose armies marched without fear because every soldier believed they were protected by a power no outsider could understand. No one knew its name at first. They simply called it the Empire Behind the Veil. When explorers finally reached its borders, they expected a triumphal city of marble, towers, and bustling markets. What they found instead left them speechless. The empire's capital was astonishingly silent. No shouting traders, no clanging metal, no rows of smiths shaping weapons. Yet the people were wealthy beyond measure. Silk garments, rare spices, precious stones. Everything suggested a vast, flourishing civilization, but no one could explain how it was sustained. The empire's neighbors had armies, trade routes, and vast farmlands, but this mysterious realm had something else, something invisible and tightly guarded. Outsiders began to notice strange patterns. Caravans entered the empire empty and left overflowing. Trade agreements were signed without negotiation. And when foreign ambassadors returned home, they described meetings where the rulers seemed to know their requests before they even spoke. Historians would later say it was as if the empire operated using a knowledge the rest of the world simply didn't possess. The heart of the mystery lay with its founding dynasty. The first emperor appeared centuries earlier, a figure so enigmatic that even his real name is lost. Legends claim he arrived from a distant land, carrying nothing but a single locked chest. He opened it for no one, yet from the moment he came, the region changed. Rival clans abandoned their feuds and allied beneath him. Famine vanished within a few years. The empire's borders expanded, but not through conquests. Instead, cities willingly joined, claiming the emperor offered them something far greater than military protection. What that something was became the greatest unanswered question of the ancient world. Travelers noticed something eerie. Every official, the nobles, the scribes, the treasury keepers, wore the same emblem, a small circular seal etched with symbols that resembled neither letters nor numbers. Foreign scholars studied it for decades but could not decode it. What they didn't know was that the seal wasn't meant to be translated. It was meant to conceal. The empire never minted coins. Instead, they used weighted tablets of a strange, dark metal no outsider had ever seen. It wasn't valuable anywhere else, yet inside the empire, it was treated with the reverence of pure gold. The government accepted nothing else. Anyone caught melting the tablets down or exporting them faced severe punishment. Everything inside the borders was meticulously recorded and tracked, but the system was so deeply complex and guarded that even foreign traders who lived there for years couldn't understand how prices, taxes, or wealth were determined. And yet, the economy flourished with uncanny stability. Then came the first major clue. Historians analyzing ancient letters from a neighboring kingdom uncovered a staggering discovery. The empire never suffered economic crashes, famines, or sudden political collapses, events that plagued every other ancient power. It grew steadily for centuries. Its records never showed shortages. Its harvests were mysteriously predictable. It was as if the rulers had built the world's first perfectly balanced economic and political machine. But perfection rarely lasts. The secret began to unravel when an ambitious general attempted to overthrow the ruling family. During his brutal raid on the capital, he forced open the sealed chamber where the dynasty kept its most ancient documents. What he found terrified him so completely that he fled the city within hours, abandoning his soldiers. When the emperor's loyal forces regained control, they discovered the general had destroyed every scroll he touched and left the chamber in flames. The emperor's advisors claimed nothing valuable was lost. But witnesses reported seeing the general running from the building pale as a ghost, muttering that the empire was built on something that should not exist. The event only deepened the mystery. Centuries later, when the empire finally fell to invaders, foreign conquerors rushed to uncover the secret that had sustained it for so long. They found massive libraries filled with coded ledgers, agricultural records that bordered on prophecy, and treasury documents that made no sense. Every calculation, every statistic, every state decision seemed to be based on predictions, precise predictions, made long before the events actually occurred. One stunned scribe wrote in her notes that the empire operated on a hidden mathematics, something far more advanced than anything known at the time. But the formulas she copied into her personal journal were incomprehensible and vanished from history shortly after. Then investigators found something stranger. Deep beneath the capital, in a sealed vault no conqueror had ever reached, they discovered dozens of tablets linked to the same obscure symbols worn by the imperial officials. The markings appeared to represent patterns of trade winds, harvest cycles, human behavior, even political instability, all charted across centuries. It was as if the empire had developed a system to predict the future with astonishing accuracy. Not magic, not divine prophecy, but a primitive, extraordinary form of data analysis, perhaps the earliest the world had ever seen. The founding emperor's locked chest, the one he arrived with, was found there as well, but it was empty. Whatever had once been inside had either disintegrated over time or had been removed long before the empire collapsed. To this day, historians argue about what the chest contained. Some say it held advanced knowledge from an older civilization. Others believe it carried a set of coded principles that helped the empire forecast everything from economic shifts to political unrest. A few suggest it was a device, something that recorded and processed information, a technological relic far ahead of its time. Whatever it was, it built an empire that lasted centuries longer than anyone expected. An empire whose rise wasn't fueled by armies or divine favor, but by a secret system of knowledge so powerful that even remnants of it can still astonish modern scholars. The empire is gone, its cities reclaimed by dust and silence, but its mystery lingers, whispering that somewhere in the forgotten past, someone discovered a way to read the world like a story already written.